You're watching KITV4 News This Morning.
Good morning and welcome back. It is 6:46. History made in Washington when Tulsi Gabbard was sworn in yesterday to fill Hawaii's 2nd congressional district seat. She became the first Hindu elected into Congress. Gabbard took her oath over the Bhagavad Gita, a sacred Hindu text, and at age 31, she is one of the youngest members of Congress. Now, she's also the first person of Samoan heritage to be elected into Congress.
And here's another first. She, along with the new Congresswoman Tammy Duckworth, who's a McKinley grad, are the first female combat veterans. And joining us live now from Washington is Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. Good morning to you.
Aloha, good morning. Good to hear from both of you.
Aloha, Congresswoman. You know, one of the analysts we just heard from earlier this morning said that for the freshman lawmakers, it's kind of like going into a dinner party and the hosts of the party are already battling. Are you getting a taste of that partisanship in Washington right now?
You know, coming in, we've been just as frustrated, I think, as people all across the state have been frustrated by kind of the lack of productivity and the lack of progress. So I know that I feel very eager and optimistic about the work that lies ahead, about building partnerships and really providing the kind of change and servant leadership that the people in our district, my district, expect. And that's really where there's so much opportunity coming in now as a new member of Congress.
Well, tell us about your committee assignments. Where are you going to be concentrating and focusing on right now?
We just found out our 2nd committee assignment late last night. I'll be serving on the Homeland Security Committee as well as the Foreign Affairs Committee, which I'm very excited about for Hawaii on both fronts because of the national focus and pivot towards Asia and the Pacific and Hawaii's strategic placement there within that region. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity to provide some strong voice and leadership on exactly how we can be instrumental in this strategic planning, both from an economic standpoint as well as from a defense standpoint. So I'm looking forward to being able to do a lot of work there.
Congresswoman, one thing that freshmen we've heard need to do is really develop those relationships. And we heard that you had a meeting with Tammy Duckworth. What was it like meeting this woman who lost her legs for our country, and how do you plan to further these relationships?
You know, I'm glad you mentioned that. Tammy and I have spoken on several occasions, and as someone coming from her side who has some Hawaii ties, we are both looking forward to working together, not just on seeing how we can partner on issues that will serve our district, but also issues that serve veterans across the board. I have so much respect for her, her service and heroic sacrifice, and what I'm excited about serving alongside Tammy and really being a part of this historic moment and being a voice for women veterans. If you look back in history, women have been volunteering to serve all the way back in the Civil War when, you know, women disguised themselves as men so that they could volunteer to serve. And now we're at a point where finally we have the opportunity to be a voice for the over 1.8 million women veterans all across the country and the many women who are continuing to put their lives on the line for our country every single day of the week, leaving behind their families and sacrificing in ways that are not often talked about. So we look forward to fighting for them, addressing their challenges, but also speaking to the capabilities and the contributions that they're making to our country.
All right. Well, we know, besides the cold, what's the most difficult thing you've had to adjust to being in Washington, D.C.?
Miss local food, of course.
What specifically?
I walk outside the building. You know, my mom is a great cook, and I miss Mom's cooking. And really, it becomes a difficulty here just with the schedule and realizing at late in the afternoon, I don't know if I've eaten yet today. So it's the practical matters of the basics, I guess you could say, as you go through very, very busy days here, busy days that we're looking to make very productive.
Well, Congresswoman Gabbard, we fly you some zippies if we could, but good luck there on Capitol Hill in the days ahead.
All right, thanks so much for taking some time and talking
I'll be
with
home.
us.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to coming home next week and visiting all the folks on each of the islands and sharing what we're doing here and listening to what's happening at home.
All right.
Sounds great.
Congresswoman, thank you.